Okay, so I'll repeat it again for the people that might have come in late. If you don't want your face on the recording, please feel free to stop your video. But this video, the recording will be in a private group only, so you will not be famous. So yeah, so we're going to talk about an incredible product that we came across about 6 months ago. I've been in health and wellness and professional sport and business for about over 20 or 30 years now, showing my age, by the way. But I was absolutely stunned when I saw and was introduced to this product, and a lot of the research that we did into it. You will see that this is a science-backed product. It is not governed by hype. It is science-backed, and we do have the science to back that. So if you really do want that, if you love reading science, we've got a lot of papers and data in relation to what you're about to see. So anything that you feel like you're missing out, don't fret, thinking, oh my God, I need notes. You will see a presentation slide that is available in one of the groups, which I will show you a bit later on. But so feel free to just relax, enjoy it. You're going to hear some incredible testimonials, see an incredible product and an incredible income opportunity. Now, I'm going to thank Jen for that one, an income opportunity. So let's get this rolling. So in a nutshell, 6 months ago, we came across this incredible product, curcumin drops, that was given to Rebecca 6 months ago. And you'll see a little bit more about that in the presentation slides. Quite frankly, you know, when we did get this opportunity put in front of us, we weren't really kind of looking for anything else. We have seen a lot of products come across our desk. Rebecca's been in the wellness industry for over 30 years, had her own clinic and so forth. Like I said, myself is in professional sport. So generally I would look for any kind of product that would give players edge physically and mentally. So when this was introduced to Rebecca in Australia at the time, she was actually over there, and she was a bit a bit wary of it, didn't know much about it. Obviously, everyone knows what curcumin is, which we will discuss very soon. And but the main thing around this was the technology behind it, and it's a delivery system that you are going to be made well aware of very, very soon, and is actually the most important component of getting curcumin into the bloodstream within minutes. And I'll explain also why standard curcumin products actually don't really do a lot for you. Again, this is all science-backed, all right? So it's not me making this up. So she came across this incredible product. She told me about it, and I did a lot of research upon it. She was able to get her hands on some and try it for herself, with some outstanding results for her. And her testimonial, I'll cut really short, but one thing that was very, very prevalent for her is she suffered from asthma from the age of 40, when she caught a really kind of debilitating bronchial infection. And since that day moving forward, she suffered from asthma, and obviously having to take the pump in order to find relief. Within a few days of taking this product, she was actually able to stop taking her steroid inhaler, which was, that's an outstanding thing. I'm not an asthmatic. I do feel for her, because I used to sort of see her in the mornings and how hard it was for her to breathe sometimes, and to see her with relief like that was something special. So we do have a range of testimonials. Tonight I'm going to ask about maybe 3 or 4 people. I know Pamela said you will do a live one. So we will do the presentation, we'll stop, we'll get some live testimonials, we'll carry on a little bit with the presentation. So we don't want to hold you up too much. But with that, I'm going to share my screen. And if I could get Jennifer, actually, because I can see you. So if you can tell me once you're able to see this, hang on a second.
Yep, it's indicating that you started screen sharing, but it hasn't quite loaded yet.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Okay, can you see that? Vita Wellness Global?
Yep, I can. Yes.
Wonderful. So welcome everybody. This is Vita Wellness Global. This is our wonderful group of people that have tried this incredible product and people that have jumped on it for the income opportunity, which we will cover soon. Again, we do want to welcome you to something extraordinary, a cutting edge product that is changing a lot of people's lives in a lot of ways, in their health and in their financial wellness as well. So it truly is a disruptor in many, many ways. As always, I've got to start with this, and it is a legal disclaimer. Please consult your medical professional if you've got anything that you feel is of any kind of chronic state. This is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. So again, please consult your medical professional. And I always throw this one in, that all the testimonials are for entertainment purposes. I cringe at that every time I have to say it. But did you know that inflammation is the root cause of a myriad of health conditions? And we have an extensive list here. And I know for myself, I suffered from a lot of these prior to taking the drops. In my testimony, I suffered from a lot of headaches in the mornings, have suffered from a lot of kind of migraines through the years, a lot of kind of stress, a lot of brain fog, and skin conditions, and the list goes on. And we've got a lot of people in here that can attest to, having these kind of health conditions, fibromyalgia, and so forth. And these are all things that are attributed to inflammation in the body, okay? So at any given time, we're in a state of inflammation and degeneration, or healing and regeneration, and clearly we want the latter, okay? So curcumin, what is curcumin? We've all heard of turmeric, but curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric, okay? And it is actually the one that does attribute to reducing the likes of inflammatory responses, and is a powerful antioxidant and has a lot of anti-cancer properties. And there's tons of data around this. So it dates back 4,000 years. But what a lot of people don't know, though, is that, and I didn't know this, to be honest, I'll put my hand up on this, is curcumin here, this is the National Library of Medicine in the United States of America. And why we use this is because it's a substantially large database of medical medicine, so natural medicine. So here you can see there's it's pretty much now, it's 21,500 studies about curcumin, and you can see it dates back from 1949 all the way to now. So it is very, 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 very widely looked at. The main consensus, though, that has come with the data is that curcumin is a lipid-based or supplement or medicine. And what that means, lipid means oily, and oil and water don't mix. So the body consists of a substantial amount of water, upwards of 80%. And as soon as that any kind of oily texture hits that, it becomes actually quite volatile. And a lot of the words that I saw with a lot of these studies. So in a nutshell, it's actually poorly bioavailable in the body. So what does that mean? That normally what you would generally take, you will excrete out. And the data says that it's about 90%, which is quite staggering. So, but they did say that if technology could start to emulate nature, and meaning to be able to use nanotechnology, and that was a word that initially I was like, whoa, nanotech. I mean, what's that about? Is it safe? And there is a lot of data around this, and the company that we are aligned with as a partner of German scientists that have been able to utilize nanotechnology, again, emulating nature, because things like proteins are of a nanoscale, in order to allow curcumin to move into the bloodstream. So all the health benefits that they saw in a lot of these studies at the clinical level, finally, we've been able to see a product that is getting those benefits to people. And what's that called? It's called BioMS technology. So in a nutshell, what that is, it's a delivery system, and I'll explain very briefly. So here we see just a pure animation, which is curcumin encapsulated in what's called a micelle structure. And this isn't predominantly new technology. This kind of technology has been around for some time. The issue was that it wasn't really available to the public. It was mainly at the scientific end. And what this consists of is encapsulating the curcumin in a micelle structure and nanofying it and making it so small. So 30 nanometers is an immensely small area. So it'd be like taking your hair is about 50,000 nanometers. So that's called 100,000, I believe. I might one of those two. But anyways, you can understand this is substantially small. So what this actually means is that now the curcumin is pretty much protected and doesn't become as volatile in the body. So what that means too is that it can enter into the bloodstream within minutes. Also, what is incredible with this technology is that micelle structure, the data shows that it doesn't stay in the body, it's actually excreted out. So essentially what happens, it delivers the curcumin into the bloodstream. Incredibly too, it's able to cross into the blood-brain barrier and help people with cognitive issues. This is a video of native curcumin extract powder, which we always would see generally in stores. The left one represents about 10% absorption in the body. You can see how clumped up it is. And the right one represents our product. So it's one of 6 companies to hold a patent for nanotechnology and natural medicine, which is incredible. So it's getting what's called lipid absorption to actually be able to be bioavailable in the body, which is pretty profound. What's amazing though is that it's not just about curcumin. There are many products on the market that I was quite shocked to know that are lipid based. Now, because of this incredible technology, we're able to see an incredible rise in absorption. And here we can see native turmeric and micronized turmeric against our product. And you can see here it's about 277 times more bioavailable in women and about 114 times in men. Not 100% sure of that. I'm not a scientist, but women tend to get a lot more benefit. Can someone there, can they just mute, please? So this, again, this BioMS technology is a real breakthrough. Okay, so what we want to look at here is the products themselves. And the first one is called the Nanofy with BioMS, the delivery system. So it consists of curcumin with vitamin D3. And it does help in response to inflammation, oxidation, and intestinal challenges. So again, it crosses, we've seen some outstanding testimonies in relation to these 2 products. The next one is the Curcumin Plus, which is one that has ginger, vitamin C, and vitamin D3, and does support extra immune response and intestinal support. This product was actually brought out in about 2020 to help with the pandemic, and I have firsthand experienced someone close to us here that lives not far from us that had and unfortunately suffered from long COVID, and this product within a couple of days was able to get that person on her feet, and the symptoms had basically cleared within a couple of days. So that's pretty outstanding. The third product that we have is called the Symbiofi, which is an innovative synergy of probiotics. So it's about realigning the stomach. And we've all heard of the second brain, and most of us, if you're aware, that serotonin, which is your feel-good chemical, starts in the stomach. So what the company has been able to do is to look at ways of, one, reducing inflammation in the body so that the body can do what it does best, and it's basically will heal itself, right? So as much as we're not supposed to say it heals, but the body will do what it's kind of designed to do, right? Now, with the stomach coming into alignment, and I love this product. I call it the unsung hero in the product suite. The Nanofy and the Curcumin Plus are phenomenal. You'll hear some incredible testimonials soon, but this product in itself as a dietary supplement is pretty profound, and I've had some amazing results from the Symbiofi. So in combination with the drops as well. And this product is 100% vegan for anyone out there that is vegan. Next, we have, how simple is it? I mean, I get asked this quite a lot, is how simple is it to take? You know, once upon a time, when I was competing a lot within sport, I had a vast array of supplements on the shelf. And a lot of the times, I'll be honest, I would take, and then sometimes I'd forget. This is as simple as putting 10 drops a day in either your coffee, tea, or room temperature water. It is GMO free. It's obviously a natural antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. I know in the beginning, in the disclaimer, I did say we did say there 18 years and over, but that's a standard legal requirement. We had to say because the company is based in America, and it's kind of guided under FDA rules. But here we do have a lot of people that have given them to their children, and generally children, it's 1 drop per year of age. So let's say our granddaughter takes it, and she's 3, and she takes 3 drops a day. Again, super simple to take. In a nutshell, you know, what we want to look at is we all want better sleep, increased energy, reduced pain, and improved clarity. And I can testify benefits in all of these areas. You know, I had a substantial amount of brain fog prior to taking these drops, and now that's a thing of the past for me. But I just cover here some testimonials, some visual ones. Ava, our granddaughter here, since taking the drops, you know, the terrible threes, or the three-nager, as Jess calls her, is a lot calmer and has a lot less frequent meltdowns because of the drops. You heard of Rebecca's asthma meds, being able to get off those, and Denise, who is here on the call as well, has seen substantial improvement in her osteoarthritis, something that's been plaguing her for a long time. Beverly here has seen a big improvement in her anxiety, and also things like IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, or endometriosis. Big improvements. This crazy one on the bottom here, I mean, visually it's hard to comprehend that foot is in the matter of 3 days. Okay, you can see there that lady Jennifer, the difference in her face, and also things like skin conditions, eczema, substantial amounts of testimonials and things like skin conditions, especially psoriasis. major improvements. And I think one of the big things though is nanotech is, and you'll hear in these testimonials, is it's quite wondrous at how fast it works, because of the size of it, and because it's able to enter into the bloodstream so quickly, it's able to benefit the body a lot faster than anything I've ever experienced. And is that the same for everybody? No, I mean, everybody's body is different. So some people see results within the matter of a day or two. Some might see it in a week. I've seen some things that that I had, that some things cleared within a couple of days, and other things took, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but it did work nonetheless. This is interesting because how curcumin is showing great results with pets, and as incredible as this product is, my initial thing around it was like, not skeptical, was like, is this kind of placebo? Is it kind of, when we talk about products with a lot of hype, and this isn't about that, because the hype, once it's science backed, right? Secondly, you can't placebo an animal, right? So you just can't. I mean, you can't trick it. You can't say, well, you're limping and pretend you're not limping, right? You can't suggest it. It just does it. So what I want to do here is just take a break from the presentation. This is what I love the most, because this is about people getting their lives back in one form or another. This is about health, right? And when you start to hear kind of some of the testimonials that you'll hear tonight, you kind of left scratching your head a bit, but it's very fulfilling for us to hear, people getting over particular things that have been plaguing them for some time. So I'm gonna, Pamela, you said that you had testimonial to share, so please feel free to unmute.
Okay, thanks, Sergio.
No problem.
The story, well, I've been on the drops for 6 weeks and had some absolutely amazing things along with my fiance, but that is not what I wanted to say today. I also work in an acupuncture clinic, and we had one of our long-term patients in this morning, and she had developed this really intense shaking. She had been to the hospital and they had actually said, we don't know what it is, so we'll just send you home. So we had like 4 acupuncturists, and these are highly trained for years and years, working on it, and one managed to get like it down to 5 minutes. She was without. Anyway, I came around because I had my ear out, and I looked at it and I went, I've heard that it works. Christina told me, she's one of my teamies, that a woman down the road from her had Parkinson, and within 3 days her tremors had stopped. So I went, okay, might as well give it a go. So I checked with Stephanie, our clinic manager, and I thought, well, it needs to get in there fast. So I said to her, do you mind? I'm going to put 5 drops in your mouth and you're going to be very yellow and see how it goes. So I did. And one of the other women rushed out and got us some water, because she said, it's a bit thick in my mouth. Within 2 minutes, her shaking, and I mean, it was a really debilitating shaking. She was saying, I'm exhausted. Within it had stopped. And within a couple of minutes, it just had a little bit of a flicker. But I actually walked her out to the car, and I gave her a bottle because I had to. I was going to anyway. Walked out of the car, and it had not started again. And it was, it would have to say it was like totally miraculous, because we're talking about like nearly 2 hours of treatments, and they're, yeah, wow. and they're the stopping of this very severe. I mean, to me, it looked like, how people say Bell's palsy and they can't stop. Yeah. That's what it looked like. Yeah. So that was just an amazing, in the clinic where everyone's fine, that I use the golden drops, which I think is really, really good. Yeah. Wow. So that's it.
Thanks, Pamela.
Story. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm just going to throw people under the bus tonight. So, Donovan, how's your little one? Or Christelle, maybe you can share. This is crazy. That I heard this 2 weeks ago, so I'm really curious to hear how you can share. That testimony will be fantastic, and kind of where she's at now.
Right. So I think we sent you the X-ray picture, or we sent it to Rebecca. It's funny you actually threw me under the bus. I was actually just going through looking at the dates now. Okay. So it happened on the 24th. and of August. So that evening we started giving her the drops, and the next day,
No,
well, actually that
20
evening,
minutes, 20 minutes after.
she was weight bearing on it, and so it's been roughly 2 weeks. It's going on the third, and she is actually running. And I was going to ask the doctor to actually see if we could do an X-ray to see what's happened, because the nurse said to us, or the attendant at the ED said it'll take 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what's happening in that foot.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I've actually changed the dressing on the toe, and there's been no sort of pain or sensation.
There's no inflammation either.
There's nothing.
No painkillers, no, not even homeopathic painkillers, nothing, barring the drops.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy. I honestly can't believe that. Unfortunately, Rebecca does have that, and I don't have it. But
I can send it to you now if you want.
It's a clear break.
Yeah. Well, we'll send it to you. We'll send it to you now.
Okay, it's remarkable to think you could have that kind of break and actually be weight bearing on it, and basically just going about.
So we brought her home from the ED. She was in there from 12:30 till about 2:30.
Yeah.
Got home at about 3:20. Gave her the drops, and literally before 4 p.m. she was hopping around, running around, giggling, and there was no ibuprofen. Both the two younger ones cannot have it because of the anaphylaxis and all the other allergens they've got. So there was no other option. And that's the only thing I've used on them. The
Wow.
absolute only thing. And that's just not Donovan's like witnessed to it. My older daughter's witnessed to it. It's just the principal of the school asked me the next morning, she says, what is Braca on? Because she's running and she's got normal school shoes on. She doesn't have a crutch or a moon boot or anything of that sort.
Wow, insane. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Okay.
That's her break there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the break. So it's not a she sprained it. It's an actual break, right? So hey, someone's put on there on the chat, which please feel free to have a look at. It's one of the ladies in the team who that's her skin cancer in July, right? I think she took like 13 or 12 drops, I think, from memory. She did put this testimonial in our group. And I actually got to meet Donna at our home last month, and I couldn't tell. That's her skin cancer above. After taking the drops, she put some topically on that, and then it started to sort of, it did start to sort of really seep out. I know it's a bit graphic, but that's something that's plagued her for some time, and this is her now. You can't tell. It's just crazy. I'm going to actually do a share of my mother called me about half an hour ago, and she has suffered from she takes warfarin. Okay, she's taken warfarin for 30 years. Has a tremendous amount of anxiety, has taken a substantial amount of medicines, one to counteract another and another and another. Unfortunately, I would say there was probably a good 13 medicines that she was on. And I'm not saying anything negatively about medicines, and I appreciate that a doctor is something that you should see if you need to. But she's on warfarin and an array of other medicines. A lot of anxiety, high blood pressure. She rang me before, and I've said this once before on one of the calls. Her INR numbers in relation to her blood thinners have been improving on every time that she's gone to the doctor for checkups and got her numbers. Today, though, she said to me, for the first time in over 15 years, her creatinine levels which is associated to her kidneys, and it's always been high. So that can lead to, obviously, potential kidney issues. For the first time in 15 years, it's dropped. And the doctors are quite astounded. They're going, well, why is it dropped? Like, it's 15 years of it being at a kind of high level, having to have tests like every couple of 3 weeks in order to make sure it does, because it can be quite a dangerous thing, right? When it starts to sort of really plague the kidneys. But for her, that was, I mean, for me, it was very emotional for me, because I know how much her health has been an issue for her, and to hear that there's improvements, not just in her INR numbers coming down, her blood pressure is starting to regulate. And I've shared this before, and I'll share it again for some of you new people. High blood pressure for over 20 years at the higher end of about 150 is standard for her. She once taking the drops. Now, for people that might have questions around, warfarin and so forth, and blood thinners, because curcumin is a natural blood thinner, and is the product safe? She's been taking now the product for about 3 or 4 months, and with no issues whatsoever. Got good support from her doctor, but to keep an eye on her numbers, right? So big improvements there. Now, her blood pressure started dropping down from the 150 mark down to the 130 when taking the drops, so much so that her doctor took her blood pressure on that occasion 4 times, because she thought there was something wrong with her blood pressure monitor. She just couldn't kind of work it out, because there's a history there of high blood pressure. But today, I mean, she was almost in tears to go, oh my God, son, my creatinine levels have dropped first time in 15 years. And the doctor knows she's taking these drops. And like I said, this is why I love this part of it, because when I hear the testimonials around people's experience, what it's doing for them, what it's doing for their loved ones. Jan, what it's going to do for your cat. You've got a cat, is that right? Is it Jan?
I do actually. I'm just Vanessa was interested, so I started the drop. I'll see if you can. Here he is. Oh,
yes.
See all that orange around his face. So
yeah.
I started the drops. I dislocated my thumb when I was 8 years old, when I caught a football, and dislocated it right back to my arm. So as I've got older, I've had problems with it. So I took the drops, and overnight, I'd had pain in my neck for a year, and it was gone. And over the week, I had pain on the inside of my knee from a pressure injury, and the outside of my knee from falling over. So the fall was about 12 months old, and the other one was about 2 years old, and that they're pretty resolved by now. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I'd had 6 bone therapy sessions and also 2 chiropractic sessions over the last couple of years, and hadn't resolved them. Anyway, my little cat gets these infections. So they're gallbladder infections, because the gallbladder and the liver are too close together in cats. And what happens is he starts to throw up, and he never gets better. I have to take him to the vet, costs me a lot of money. Usually has to have fluids, antibiotics, hospitalization. So he's about 2 weeks, or probably no, 4 weeks ago, he's had about 3 bats. He had another one about 4 weeks ago. And on Sunday, he started throwing up again. And he's like, oh, not again, because like it's ka-ching, ka-ching every time you go up. Anyway, so I put a drop on my finger and wiped it on his mouth. And I had to go out. I was out for about 2 hours. And when I came home, he was up and alert. He went out for a little walk, and about 4 hours later, he's actually eating. So he's well on his way. So he's all orange around his mouth, and where he's cleaned himself, there's a lot of yellow. So he looks very fetching at the moment, but it looks like it's pretty amazing. He was back on his feet within 2 hours. So yeah.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah, so we talk about pets, like there was one there about a horse, and there's a group that I'll share with you in a minute that's full of testimonials and people's stories and experiences on themselves and on their pets. And that horse one is outstanding because that horse couldn't make its way up to the house like it used to. You used to always go and see the owner up at the house because it was up a little bit of a hill. As it got older, it couldn't do that. And after taking the drops, within a few days, that horse she was freaked out because the horse was actually walking back up the hill towards the home. So pets, it's outstanding to think how pets respond to these drops. But can we does anyone want to share one more before I go? Because I mean, I do love the testimonials. Keep it within about a minute, please. Anyone? You can just unmute and go for it. Jennifer, yep.
Minute. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
The results, and for me, and it's not fair because I've got like 4 or 5 family members I can rattle off here. So overall, what I can say is that initially I noticed more mental clarity for me, and then a week later or so, physical energy. After that, I noticed, gee, my mood is elevated. And about 6 weeks after taking the drops, I had a dull, lingering backache that I just was coping with for years and years. And I realized, oh, wait, my back isn't hurting, and it still isn't hurting. So that's just me. My husband had a terribly sprained ankle. We, oh, somebody's not muted. Gladys, can you mute?
Hindi ka nadlaw ko. Anay unay gilikod ko no agiida ako. Dati ka sumakit.
Gladys, are you able to mute?
I'll do it. It's done. Yep.
Oh, thank you so much. So anyway, Steve rolled his ankle. It was really, really horrible. We were all, he went down and was on the ground, and we put 10 drops internally and 2 drops topically. And then he just kind of stood up and checked it out and kind of walked gently, went to work on his feet a full day and was pain-free. That was unheard of. My daughter's skin cleared, my son's sense of taste and smell enhanced, my friend's shoulder injury recovered in a week instead of a month. Like, really, personally, could go on, but I only have a minute. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Jen. I had to learn to do that because this is what's outstanding about this product is that is the amount of things that people are starting to experience. And I cut it down to a minute because sometimes we were getting like these 3-minute kind of testimonials, and I'm like, oh, we've got people's time is precious, and you do a few of those, and before you know it, half an hour goes by. But thanks, Jennifer. I'm going to go back to sharing the screen again, and we'll just go through this, the rest of this, and then we'll have our Q&A. So this is a group called Disruptive Wellness. Now, for the people that are new here and have been invited by somebody, can you get that person to invite you into this group if you are not already? Disruptive Wellness has now 19,500 members to it. Predominantly, it is testimonials about the experience with the drops. And again, I said with pets as well. You can use the search function to put a keyword in, for argument's sake, if you wanted to look for, say, arthritis or migraine or psoriasis. You can put it in there, and the appropriate testimonials for that keyword search will come up. Rebecca and I are admins in this, so if you can put the person that invited you in, we will get you into the group so you can at least scroll around, have a look, see how powerful. I mean, you've heard some amazing testimonials, but also it's great to see some testimonials from other people around the world as well. So this is, I said before with the testimonials, is taking control of your life, and it does really, really fulfill me and warm me up when I hear how people's lives are improving. And this is the main problem that we see, and I know I can attest to this: health and finances, right? I mean, the thing that does kind of pretty much keep us up at night. Inflation is rampant, petrol is rampant, interest rates are going up, and is putting a lot of pressure on families. And so this does, as much as there's a huge improvement in people's health, there's an opportunity to improve your finances as well. And yes, the pandemic did ravage our small business sector. I live in Riverhead, Auckland. I saw a post the other day, and 37 businesses in the Albany area. We are about 20 minutes away from Albany, which is a Westfield shopping complex. The surrounding small businesses, we had our local MP count 37 lease signs or for sale signs from small business. So staggering. The thing though with this, though, it's not about buying into, say, your traditional type of business. This is a low cost, affordable business, and it does give us the opportunity to work from home, earn a residual income in the likes of Australia and New Zealand, because obviously this is what this presentation is predominantly about. But the things that we do love about this is that, you know, there's no retirement age. We do have people here from all sorts of ages, and generally we do have a lot of older, or we'll say more experienced people, right? Because we've seen that these days, you know, your retirement savings, are they enough? And a lot of the times they're not. So a lot of people are still looking for other opportunities, and we do call this a form of affordable franchising, and we do offer, especially in this team, and I would love to later get a couple of testimonials relative to the training support, the community that is on offer with you know, our group here. So we say there, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Now, one thing that I was really wanted to know in the beginning was, what was the company like? I mean, we've got a fantastic product. There is no doubt about that. But what's the company like, right? I've had the humble honor of meeting Shane personally over a lot of WhatsApp conversations, and we do talk. The reason for that is we're helping the company open up here in New Zealand, and but Shane has been in the would say direct sales or the corporate end of the supplement industry for over 20 years. It's a family lineage of people in the supplement industry. His father was a biochemist as well as his uncle, so it's pretty much in his blood. And I saw Europe just opened over the weekend, and I saw one of his videos where, you know, he said that the one thing that he really wanted to look at when he joined in the supplement industry over 20 years ago, he said that most companies knew that their products were not bioavailable, meaning would enter into the body and do what they needed really to do, which kind of shocked him a lot. And so one thing that him and his wife Laura, who's there in the photo, was, you know, it's a frightening thing to think, you know, you want to go and start a business out for yourself, right? But they wanted to put those fears behind them and kind of, you know, basic decisions on love and hope. And he is a very integral man. And for the business, he said that he wants this as a legacy. They have no intention of selling it. It's 90% owned by Shane and Laura here, and the other 10% is owned by family members. The company has operated since 2016, very organically. Again, because of kind of those fears, they kind of let it, is that saying, it's kind of belly to belly. It was just about people sharing it, talking about it. There was nothing sort of really substantial. in terms of, say, websites or marketing over the internet and so forth. So it did grow very organically through South America, because they live in Cancun for over 12 years, and spread into sort of Colombia, Dominican Republic. As of about 2.5 years ago, it went into the USA. We are in Australia and New Zealand in a pre-launch position, which I will explain in a minute. And Canada is getting into pre-launch position as well. Europe, as I said before, has just opened for business. So I've been around for a bit. So this is a very good graph about where we're at the moment in the business. So it's not essentially a startup, but one thing that that I love, and the team here, is that we're actually able to shape the culture of the business as we move forward. And what I mean by that is Rebecca and I were able to get to one of the highest ranks in the company within a very short period. It was 80 days. It set our company record. And with that came a humble privilege of being able to actually work with the corporate division, get our thoughts out there. They listen to us, which is fantastic. As I said, Shane has been in contact with both of us about opening Australia and New Zealand. So we are in a very, very honoured position and humble position, the whole team, that is, to be able to start to influence and direct where we're at. But here we are, 1 to 5 years, that we're heading into year number 6. It's called hyper growth. Only happens once, right? And yes, through the pre-launch process, we've had our challenges, which you always do in business, but we've come through it, and now we really are heading into something quite special. And to add to that is that there will be certain more countries opening up. So once Australia and New Zealand have finished their sign-up process, which for us in New Zealand, we're lucky, it could be middle to the end of November. In Australia, the process is a little longer, but that could be about 2 or 3 months after that. So it is about joining a pre-launch market. Now, in any business, you would rather be positioned pre-launch, or at least as a company first opens, right? So you get that competitive edge. You are a first, what's called a first mover advantage, especially in something like this, which has a product that really is changing lives, right? So we are paving the way for Australia and New Zealand. And we'll just cover this very, very briefly before we go into some questions, but we call this a business in a bottle, because it does give us the opportunity to really start to change our financial future. And Rebecca and I, we've been very, very fortunate. We've put in a lot of time, effort, and energy. Jess has done all this presentation herself, along with Rebecca. So these are part of the resources that you have accessible to yourselves. And we've been able to get to that rank in the business where we were able to make a 5-figure a month US income. Now, why I say US is because we are in that pre-launch position, and everything that we get paid gets paid in US dollars. So, so we're going to look now at the wholesale kit. So the position we're in at the moment is we're looking for distributors of the product. When we're open, you can access your own customer base, and what that means is that you will be attributed a shop link, which I'll show you in a minute, and customers can buy directly off that shop link, and the company will send products out directly to them. So there's 3 available kit sizes. New Zealand's slightly tweaked, and I'll explain why in a minute. We call this the 250 PV kit. We call it the personal kit. It has 5 curcumin plus and 4 nanophi to it, and is $349 US, which includes shipping to Australia and New Zealand. For the person that has enrolled that particular person, they get a $60 US commission that's paid weekly. So again, on the personal referrer kits. So that's not too bad. And obviously gives somebody the option to either just try the product personally. It does give you the opportunity to buy it at wholesale, and has a recommended retail of $500 US. The next one we call the 500 PB kit business. This one says New Zealand only. The reason for that is recently we had our dearest customs people started to look into the product more, because the business has started to take a lot of traction, and a lot of boxes were arriving from the US, and obviously caught their attention. So the pricing was just a little bit over $1,000, and that's for GST purposes. Now the product is placed and valued under that $1,000 threshold. So you get 9 Nanofy and 9 Curcumin Plus, and has its cost of $545 US plus a $60 shipping to New Zealand. For the person that enrolled that person, they will get $120 commission. And I'll show you an amazing example in a couple of slides. This one is slightly different. It's for the Australian market, and for the European market, it's still called the 500 PV kit, or the business kit as we've named it. But this one has an additional 2 of each of the bottles of the 2 additional curcumin and 2 additional Nanofy. And for Australia and Europe, this one is the big kit. This one has 48 bottles, so 24 of each, and again carries a $250 commission to the referrer. So there's an opportunity there to be able to share a lot. At this stage, we're not in the retailing of the product, but there's nothing to stop you from selling a bottle to somebody that really does want to try it. Or in Rebecca's case, she gave out about 10 or 12 bottles, and she felt that was a real investment for somebody. So she wanted to see how the product did work for people. So that is up to you. Again, you're in business for yourself. So you can decide whether you want to obviously use a few products for yourself, if you want to give some out for people to try for no charge, or you want to retail that. So in Australia for argument's sake, the Nanofy is priced at around $80 to retail, again, to not in stores yet. And the Curcumin Plus is around the 90. In New Zealand, it's around 90 and 100. So again, this is a low-cost, backed by science product, as I said before. We are in a pre-launch position. This is what you do get once you sign up. You get a website and a virtual office. You do get to purchase the products at wholesale. We do get 100% basic retail. So what's amazing is the Nanofy costs $25 US. So it's not expensive. You can start immediately, and you do get a lot of support, which I want to cover that, because I feel that's very, very important when you get involved in any kind of business. So the company, what we attributed the early level of success, and there's a lot of people in this group that have had good success with the business, is a 30-day success plan, where this is Denise, who is on the call, and we use this often. She bought a kit 500. So if you look at that picture up on the top left there, and she referred this business because of what she saw through the testimonials and so forth, and super excited about what the potentials were for people's health and well-being and finances. Obviously, depending on people's financial position, one person bought a kit 250, another one bought a kit 500, and the other one was really keen and bought a kit 1250. So in enrolling 3 people in 30 days, she was able to get back into her e-wallet $848 US, which is pretty profound, especially when you can get it involved into a business. You know, and you can see there what she invested. So basically $699 US, and her profit is about $1,360, which is pretty amazing. So that's in the 30 days, right? And that is a real springboard to getting up and profitable quite quickly. But in saying that, resources and support is something that we take very seriously and very professionally. So we offer a lot of help and support to people that get involved. So you don't come in here and you're thinking, well, what do I do? Where do I start? How do I do it? Is there any help? Yes, there is. This is a lot of help that you get when you come on board with us. So we have here Vita Wellness Global. This is the page that we created for people to be able to pique interest. So there's a lot of great product videos there. There's some basic information that you can basically invite anybody into. That is available to you, made by us. There's also here our Vita Wellness Global Hub, which is all about support, resources, training, and education. Now, this is hugely important. And if you're not in this group, get the person that invited you to invite you into the Vita Wellness Global Hub if you really are interested in looking this as an income opportunity. So, and here, please put the name of the person that invited you to come in, because we do get a lot of people try to jump in on the group that aren't part of our organization. Why? Is because the level of training that's supplied is amazing. And I'll get a couple of testimonials on that, so that you don't just take my word for it. And here, though, the secret behind this is there's a lot of things, but the guide section is something that you can do anything there, from learning how to get started, everything from the science, testimonials, business.
Ready.
Sorry, can you mute whoever is that is, please? That's just come in. Thank you. So amazing, a lot of resource to help you and your business. Not just that, though, but to when you start to grow your organization, is that you're able to sort of plug into that system, right? So we call it self-directed learning. We also do have Monday calls, which we have Q&As, which we Rebecca and Jess, and maybe sometimes Denise, do on a Monday to answer any questions. And generally those questions are put into the chat first, and then that is covered. Any updates are talked about. We do have this presentation on a Monday evening, so 6 p.m. for Australia and 8 p.m. for New Zealand. So really you just can bring your people in, get us to do the presentation for you, and people can we can answer the questions for you. So that's all, we do all that for the team. But apart from that, you know, it is about, we would really love to extend an invitation to join us, you know, because it is about health and financial wellness, and we really, as a team, we do, you know, we really look at the support structure of helping you get to where you need to go. Who could I pick out? Who could put their hand up about their experience with this team and community? Just unmute and you can fire away.
It's Denise here. I joined in March, and I've had quite a bit of quick success for two reasons. Is that I joined under my daughter Rebecca, and she was doing it really fast, and she was helping a lot. So I decided I'd do it really fast as well. I'd tell as many people as quickly as possible. For two reasons. I absolutely believed in the product. I knew it was fantastic. I knew it would be, and it has turned out to be. And secondly, I have never seen a business compensation plan like this. I looked at it, and I have been in networking before with and successful in another business, but this plan is absolutely amazing. And it works so well when you do it fast. Like you get in, you get your first 3 within your 30 days, you get your Rapid Pro, you help those 3 get their 3, and so on, it grows. And that's what I did. And with Rebecca and Sergio's and Jess's help, I mean, everything I asked for, they gave me. I wanted brochures, they designed brochures, you know, banners, everything you need, plus all the training was there for me. And I keep falling back on all of that and getting help technically, because I'm no tech wizard. I mean, I love talking to people and sharing the product and that, but the technical stuff still bugs me at times. So the help is all there for you. It's just amazing. And you can grow your business quickly. And there's so many people to help and support you doing that. And you can rank up to go a couple of ranks a month. You don't have to sort of wait 2 or 3 months to get one rank. So I advise you all, and if I can do it as a great grandmother, I'm sure a lot of the younger ones can do it as well. So just advise you to do it quickly, enjoy the benefits, have the money coming in where you can donate product or even buy packs for people. And that's the reward you get. It's just fantastic. I'm loving it.
Thanks, Denise. Like, yeah, I mean, it's always a wonderful story. Rebecca dragged Denise out of retirement at 83 years old, and I tell you what, Denise has been able to reach the rank of elite 3 months in a row, which is an outstanding effort, right? And this is for someone that, again, she said she didn't really like tech. And it's not about tech per se, but you know, the technology that comes with, like, even just getting into Zooms and so forth, and but having support around that and systems and guidance in the guide section about how to be able to run and plug your people into the system that's been made available for you. So essentially, a lot of the hard work has been done, right? We're always updating, you know, resources and so forth to make your experience in the business better. We do have another group that we just started a couple of weeks back. We call it the Diamond Club. That is for people that really want to change their financial future. That is, you know, to be able to get it's looking at a course that we have made, because that's what we did in order to get from 0 to a 5-figure a month income in 80 days. But we're setting this out for is 120 days. We were amazed at the amount of people that joined that group. There was 50 people, and there is incredible support structure, again, resources about what to do and how to do it on a pretty much a daily and weekly basis. So, and no one else is doing that as far as I'm aware. So I definitely know one of the Jess was just asked by the corporate division to do some work for them, because you could see the quality of the kind of work Jess does. So all hats off to her. But can I just get one more in relation to the support from the business end that you experienced? Anybody? Lynette? Yep.
Hi everyone. Yeah, during the past few years, the silly times that we've been through, I lost my business and I got severely health challenged after I massaged someone, unbeknownst to me that had had the vaccination recently. So I was pretty crook. And I'd started to feel like, what could I do financially as a solo mum? And I was amazed how everybody that I spoke to wanted to buy the drops. I sold 100 bottles in about less than 2 months. And I was like, I still fathomed, was that $5,000 that I made, you know? And because initially I had some money away, but I didn't want to touch it. And so I borrowed I bought the larger kit when we could in New Zealand. And the support that I got from Louise and Rebecca and Sergio has been incredible. and meeting meeting new people, Jennifer and her, we're like a team down in Wanaka, and then reconnecting with old friends on a regular basis, like sometimes daily now. It's been amazing how it's a win-win. Like if I'm successful, then that means my team is successful, and it's like a tornado flow. So if we all help each other, everybody's helping each other, and their friends and families, and their friends and families become healthier, and have a better quality life. And the testimonials are what got me, and from the get-go, and then that's how I share the business. And yeah, it's been just amazing, incredible support. I've never felt such an easy flow. And even when you do trip yourself up at times, because we hit our little blocks in life, there's always there's that way through. Yeah, it's been incredible. And like the banks, I wouldn't have got there without Louise showing me the way, and giving me tips along the way how to. And she's in line with Rebecca and Sergio, so they kind of show you a way to make it easier and how to get the journey going. So yeah, I'm very, very thankful.
Thank you. What a wonderful testimonial. But it's funny, I was talking to Jennifer today, and she was really thankful of the time that we've been spending over the last couple of weeks. And it's something that I offer for free for people that really do want to change their lives. But one thing that she brought up there was around that around that support, is that I said that's actually an investment in you. I don't charge for it. Rebecca doesn't charge for it, but it's an investment in you, or all of you, because really, I mean, we hear this term, right? And I've heard it for years in business, but I've never really seen it, is that I can only succeed if you do. Right? But this is about as real as it gets, because I legitimately cannot succeed unless I help you succeed. So I'm invested in, as well as Rebecca and Jess and so on, and a lot of people in this community, as I call it, is that's why we sort of band all together, right? And really do support each other as best we can through the ups and the downs, because that's life and business. But I couldn't wish for a better group of people. Really couldn't. There's some really, really amazing people that I've been able to meet, and that's makes the journey so much more enjoyable, right? And there are holidays and stuff that the company does provide, and I said to Jen today, I can't wait to meet you on one of those, and a lot of yous that I've met already. So yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing those business testimonials. So I think that's important. We hear those health ones, but for people that really do want to look at the business side of it, it's important to hear about what is the business thing like, and so those kind of business testimonials I feel are as important as well. But hey, I want to thank Jess and whoever else for answering a lot of the questions there. It's been so much help. Is there anyone that wants to unmute maybe and ask anything live before we let you all go? It's been an outstanding call, and I really do want to thank all of you for giving me your time.
Sergio, will you mention the countries that are also already open? Because a lot of people in New Zealand have contacts abroad, so I thought it would be useful.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so at the moment, Australia and New Zealand are in pre-launch. The open countries are the United States, 27 EU countries. Now, this is available too in the shop link you get when you sign up. You'll see the list of countries available with flags and so forth. So 27 EU countries are open. Some South American countries like Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Mexico. So what does that mean as an advantage? Is that utilizing your shop link, you can send it to somebody, say in America, that wants to try the product, that doesn't want to buy a wholesale kit, but wants to buy maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles. They can buy that through your shop link, pay through there, and then what is wonderful about this is that the company will pay you that week the commissions on those sales, which is crazy, right? So it's crazy good. So this is where that part of the residual sort of style of the business is that, you know, we're in New Zealand. We've got people in the business in Europe and in America and now in Canada, but Canada's in pre-launch. But so you're generating an income. What we want to do is we want to generate income 24 hours a day, right? And it's not often that an opportunity like that can come about. They are there, but there's not a lot of good ones, and we feel this is a really, really, really good one. And so if you do know people that are in Europe and in those 27 countries, and we're happy to share those if you want to reach out on the global hub, and we can itemize those. US and anyone in Mexico, Dominican Republic, or Colombia. Yeah, you can pretty much get people to sort of purchase off your shop link, and that commissions will be paid directly to you that week. Also, in terms of the future expansion of the business, there's some outstanding news. Obviously, as I said before, New Zealand is about the end of November for full registration, full compliance, which we've been able to help the company in that space. Logistically, we're going to start here as the hub for Australia and New Zealand. So shipping of products will go from New Zealand to Australia, which will take with the provider about a matter of a couple of 3 days maximum, as opposed to at the moment we're waiting about, you know, sort of 2.5, 3 weeks. But that's pre-launch, right? And then Australia will get their own hub very, very soon. Once they're fully open, which is about 2 or 3 months after that. And then Lynn will answer that in a second. And then after that, because Australia and New Zealand will be fully open, the next stages will be heading into Asia. So countries like the Philippines, from what I understand, Singapore, Malaysia. So also too, just to add before we finish up, is because of the position that we've been in and to have kind of access to that corporate and to the owners, they listen. We're lucky. They get to listen to us and go, where would you feel like you could start? So if you know somebody that is either has networking experience before or has a lot of contacts or big networks that you feel would be a real benefit to obviously your organization and obviously for Beatify, please reach out to us, because there's some amazing opportunities on the horizon through Asia. Also, there's talk of things, the likes of South Africa, which is incredible, some African countries, and even some countries in the Middle East. But this is kind of the forward thinking part of it. So really, we're only just starting. I know it said almost 6 years into the business, but you know, to be predominantly in South America, now expanding more into international markets, there's a huge scope. And on that, lastly, product wise, they're going to stick to that lipid based issue, which is again providing the bioMS technology so that it makes it a delivery system for other lipid based. So I can't say this is 100%, but we did hear this from the owner once on a call. He said, basically, we've got a product for inflammation, we want a product for heart health, and then we want a product for brain health. So the product suite in itself will be small, which is great, right? Because we don't want to have like 20 products that we've got to feel like we've got to try to sell. So at the moment, we've got 2 phenomenal products for inflammation and hopefully for brain and heart health. Will be fantastic. So that could be future for us. Lynn, you asked about a Mexican earthquake this weekend. I did not know about that, but I will look at shipping. Our shipping there is moving to the US anyway, I think this week, but I'll find out. But good question, but I didn't know about that. I hope there's been a few awful earthquakes around the world of recent. Cool, Barbara, thank you. Any final questions before I let you lovely people go?
Yes, it's Christine here. I would like to know about the tropical use. Does that mean
Sorry about what? I missed that.
tropical? Is that what you called it? You can put it on your body.
Oh, topically. Sorry.
Topically.
Yeah.
So do you rub it in?
Yeah, no, you can. There's some great pictures of people with like psoriasis or skin conditions that put it topically on. I had an instance where I came second best against a hedge trimmer, and I had 5 stitches in my leg, and I put it topically on the wound itself. You can use it. The only word of warning there, it does work very well. Obviously, internally works incredibly. Is the nature of the color, and it can stain. Okay, so just be really mindful of that. If you're going to do it that way, make sure you bandage it well. You know, some people use it on their spots and so forth, or I've heard people like applying it up to skin tags and so forth with incredible results. I heard somebody that their skin tags were falling off when they started to apply it, which is pretty amazing. But please be very, very mindful. Don't make my mistake. I put it on my leg, I wrapped it, and then I wrecked my white sheets because it went through it went through. I thought I had enough protection, but it didn't. So just be really mindful of that if you want to call that a contraindication.
Sorry, Sergio. Thank
Yes.
you very much for that information.
No
It's
worries.
Marvit here.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Sergio?
Very well, thank you.
I know someone who's got tinea. Hello?
Sorry, is that coming from you or somebody else? That noise.
I think someone else was in the line.
Just trying to think about this, so I can. I'll just see if I can mute that whoever that person is. No, seems to be gone. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Thanks. Someone's got tinea on their toes. Have you heard of any good results with that?
Yeah, I mean, not topically, but just taking the product in itself, because I mean, tinea. What's it called? Oh, geez, I can't remember. But I definitely know with tinea, it's worked remarkably well. I'll be very curious though if anyone wants to try it topically. I mean, I think what did you put there, Donna? Or athlete's foot? Oh, Candida, right? Thanks, Jess, because I was trying to think. Candida, it works. The product in itself works very, very well against Candida, because generally most tinea is a byproduct of Candida, and a lot of us will tend to have that in relation to sort of diet. But there are, if you go on disruptive wellness, just go in the search and just have a look. Also, if you really want to go another step, you can go into PubMed.gov. That's the US. And type in curcumin on the search bar. Go curcumin and tinea if you want, and it'll give you sort of the studies in relation to that. I mean, it's not a sort of, you wouldn't say tinea is a very serious thing, but it can be annoying. Jess said there the Symbiofy for Candida is phenomenal. It starts to knock out Candida. Yeah, it's true. So the Symbiofy is the pre and probiotic, the caps.
Right.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Again, the unsung hero of the 3 products that we have.
And just another question: if you put it on topically,
yes,
how long does the stain last?
On your skin?
Yeah.
To be honest, when I had it on my knee, couple of days, but because I had to be very wary because it was quite a scar. I mean, I had 5 stitches, so I couldn't really like rub it. But generally, you know, I've had sometimes when I'm making coffee and it gets on my fingers somehow, or I've, you know, kind of juggled the bottle or something, end up staining my fingers. I just wash it straight off. So I found though with my knee, it was able to come off pretty easily. It's just the things like clothing, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. Last question. Thank you, Lynn. Anything else before we tie it up? And yeah, 9:30. 2 more. Some Wi-Fi. Amazing product. Yeah, so Christina asked the question, Symbivo seems a bit of downplayed. Yeah, definitely. You know what was funny when we first started the business 6 months ago? Because of the nature of the product and the technology that it had, was it represented something that generally hasn't been seen on the market at all, right? And so everyone just went drops, and the company said, well, if you just want drops, then we'll just give you drops, right? Now what's funny is it's kind of like started to spin the other, not spin the other way, but people want the Symbivo because they started to take it because you could purchase it as a separate order through the back office. And people started to take it and starting to see crazy results as well. I've seen some incredible results from taking the Symbivo. It's an incredible product. So now when we're opening, the Symbivo will be added back into the kits. So don't fret there. But at the moment, you can buy it separately through the back office. So yeah, it is definitely amazing. Yeah, Liz, you're right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good you all. I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me your time. Again, if you're not in the Beta Wellness Global Hub, please get the person that invited you to add you there. Put the name of the person, first and last name, so that we can support you as best we can. And look, I hope I get to see you all really soon. Thank you so much. You got any other questions you think, oh, I forgot? Just put it in the Global Hub and we'll answer it as best we can. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey,
Thanks so
everybody.
much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.